I'm bringing you a full review of Trails of Cold Steel 2. If you haven't checked out my review of the first game in the series, the link is down below in the description, and you can also click the card in the top right now. I highly recommend watching the first review first because the story picks up directly from where that game left off. Hey everyone, welcome to Lunar Arcade, and if you're new here, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I bring deep dives into JRPGs you might have missed, and your support helps me keep doing that. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk performance first. I primarily play this on my Steam Deck with some light PC time. For the most part, the game holds steady around 60 FPS in handheld, just as well as the first game did. That said, you will still run into some of the same challenge areas, large open zones, complex enemy spawns, and heavy particle effects. In those moments, dropping draw distance and shadow quality can help lock things in, but on my gaming PC, I could put everything to max. It's smooth enough that handheld plays feels great, which is important for me as someone playing on the go. In terms of the visuals, the sequel shows noticeable refinements over the first game. While it doesn't reinvent the look, you'll spot cleaner character models and movement that feels a bit more natural. For example, you can clearly see in character run cycles, like Farine and other returning characters, that their strides and transitions are more fluid than in the first game. There's less of that bot walking feel. The environments are run off of the same engine, so you'll see some rough edges and recycled assets, but the improvements in animation and polish matter. In your handheld play, that smoother movement helps the world feel more alive and less static. Another reason I like playing in handheld is because this game was originally made for the PS3 and PS Vita, so it was made with handheld graphics in mind, so there was a limitation there. Now onto the story. No heavy spoilers, but do know at this point I will touch on story beats, so if you want pure first time experience, feel free to skip ahead. I've timestamped this video to make it easier for you. The story in Cold Steel 2 kicks off almost immediately after the first game's climax, thrusting you back into the world of the Erebonian Empire, but in a new phase of the conflict. Rien Schwarzer finds himself separated from many of his teammates, and the narrative shifts from the school life setting of the game to a more urgent, high-stakes situation of regrouping, reconnecting, and facing the fallout of what your actions set in motion. One of the aspects I really appreciated is the way returning characters feel seen. Their relationships from Class VII carry weight, and when you revisit towns and NPCs you interacted with in Game 1, there are recognition moments that deepen the emotional impact. And just like the first game, I highly recommend as you play through the game, if you like NPC interactions and like hearing and seeing what they have to say, is after every event, once you have the ability to do so, revisit every town and city and have a talk with all of the NPCs there. Their dialogue changes as the story moves forward, and sometimes this is the only way to get missable items throughout the game, such as books, and the books that I'm referencing will be needed to get the ultimate weapons for some of your characters through this playthrough. Whenever I play through these games, there's so many Missibles that can go unnoticed that I actually use a guide, not a normal walkthrough, because I really don't want any spoilers, but a Missibles walkthrough, letting me know, hey, if you play through this portion of the game and don't get this item or don't talk to this person, you're gonna miss out on this. And to be quite frank, it's very easy to miss because the game doesn't tell you, hey, you're gonna miss something if you leave right now or go to this area right now, and you won't be able to talk to this person again. The broader freedom allowing you to travel between regions earlier on also supports this. And moving on, this game allows you to experience how past events rippled out across the world. As you reach the later chapters, the story builds into some bombshell reveals and shifting allegiances that make you realize how much your previous playthrough matters. This isn't just more of the same, it's a sequel that expands the world and raises the stakes and leverages what you did before to greater effect. And now we move on to exploration and world freedom. In Cold Steel 2, you get a ton of freedom earlier. While Game 1 had you following the Academy's schedule and structuring around class duties, this sequel lets you roam more widely between regions, revisit towns you've been to, and interact with NPCs who react differently based on your choices and past events. I highly recommend taking the time in those cities, talking to everyone like I mentioned before, doing side quests because the game rewards it. You'll begin to see NPCs referencing past events or teammates discussing items you collected, etc. It makes the world feel lived in. Now, the battle system and mechanics compared to Game 1. The combat system remains fundamentally the same as in Cold Steel 1, so if you enjoyed that, you'll feel right at home. But there are some meaningful enhancements here. The link system returns and is deepened. Your bonds with teammates matter more than ever. You'll notice new link abilities, guarding, auto-heal, follow-up, and the newly introduced overdrive mode, which lets linked characters act multiple turns in a row under the right conditions. And for my Mobile Suit Gundam fans, the Divine Knight Mech-Battles return and are expanded. Yes, you still pilot Valimar and face massive foes, but in the sequel they play a greater role and integrate more seamlessly into the progression. What this all adds up to is a combat system that doesn't break new ground entirely but refines what worked and gives you more tactical freedom, more choice, and more rewarding build possibilities. The sense of cohesion between your relationships, your strategy, and your combat performance is stronger here. I have to highlight the music because it's something I didn't emphasize enough in the first review. I didn't even mention it at all, but the soundtrack in Cold Steel 2 hits in ways that matter, from emotionally charged themes for reunion scenes to battle tracks that ramp up when things get serious. One standout for me is the orchestral piece during Ymir Valley Road in certain versions, which layers strings and percussion in a way that elevates exploration and tension. Voice acting and localization also feel slightly more polished this time around, which helps the story's weight land better. In conclusion, Trails of Cold Steel 2 is an impressive sequel that honors what came before while stepping things up. In story, in mechanics, and in world building. For me, it's another 10 out of 10. These games just have something that keeps sucking me back in. I've never experienced anything quite like it, and I think that many of you will feel the same once you give it a try. If you enjoyed the first game, or if you're curious about a JRPG series that truly values continuity and character investment, this one deserves your time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Have you played this game yet, or are you just starting the Trails series? I'm currently working through Trails of Cold Steel 3, so stay tuned for that review coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Lunar, signing off.